This is Myra Lane on the Buying Space channel. We are continuing Adult Bible Studies. Finding Balance is the name of the quarterly for summer 2024. This reading will air on July 7th. And the purpose statement for this lesson is to affirm the blessings of the Sabbath, rest while dealing with tensions of life's responsibilities. And we are starting Unit 2. Unit 1 was about work. So here are our reading choices for the Bible study. This is the focal passage reading. I don't read that. It's also in Exodus, and I'm reading the Torah on Sunday evenings. And I've read Genesis, and I'm reading Exodus, and I'm reading the Gospels on Wednesday night. So my choices were Deuteronomy 5, 12 to 15, and 1 Kings 8, 56 to 61. But I'm going to read 1 Kings chapter 8, 54 to 61. I should have already opened my Bible to that passage. But I didn't. Don't always do what I'm supposed to do you? Here's Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Amos, Micaiah, Zechariah, and there's Matthew. So, Now, Psalms was written during the time of David, and then Proverbs was written by Solomon, and Ecclesiastes was written by Solomon. So where this seems logical that 1st and 2nd Kings would be right after that, but not so. The history is before Psalms and Proverbs and Ecclesiastic and Song of Solomon. So 1 Kings chapter 8. Now chapter 8 is after David has passed away and Solomon has become king as promised. And Solomon built the temple. And this is his prayers and benediction after the temple was completed. Before that, they had a tabernacle. So, and this is a very long chapter of all of his prayers. This Bible's wonderful with maps and all. So we're doing 1 Kings chapter 8, starting in verse 54 instead of verse 56. And so it was, when Solomon had finished praying all this prayer and supplication to the Lord, that he arose from before the altar of the Lord, from kneeling on his knees with his hands spread up to heaven, and he stood and blessed all the assembly of Israel with a loud voice, saying, Blessed be the Lord, who has given rest to his people Israel. There is not one fallen, one word of all the good promise. There's not one failed, not one word of all the good promise, but which he promised through his servant Moses. May the Lord our God be with us, as he was with our fathers. May he not leave us nor forsake us, that he may incline our hearts to himself, to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments, which he commanded our fathers, And may those words of mine, with which I have made supplication before the Lord, be near the Lord our God day and night, that he may maintain the cause of his servant and the cause of his people Israel, as each day may require, that all the people of the earth may know that the Lord is God. There is no other. Let your heart therefore be loyal to the Lord our God, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments as at this day. This was a moment of victory. The temple had been built. They had the tabernacle for generations, and now they have a permanent temple in the promised land. And it is a day of worship and rest. This is on the Sabbath. And this is one of the reasons we need to keep the Sabbath. I'm not saying we're not under grace now, but I'm saying you need to take time in your week to worship God and to rest. Some people have corporate schedules out there, and they can't always choose to be available when their denomination's Sabbath is. And I just recommend to people, take a day, take your second day off, or your first day off if you only have one, and worship God in the morning. Of course, we should be praying every morning. It just takes 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depends upon how much you pray for other people. But you can every morning make a short prayer to God to protect you and your loved ones. If just that. You don't have to spend hours praying for people that are sick or injured, but you can too if you have the time. I have a little prayer box. I don't even know where it is now. I have a bunch of names in it. So when I pray to God, I pray for everyone in that prayer box. And you know what? God knows who's in that prayer box. Because I wrote down the names and put them in the prayer box. And God knows. You don't have to use a lot of fancy words. Just need to maintain a good relationship with God and follow his wisdom in celebrating the accomplishments, the promises that God has fulfilled. They're in the promised land. They have their temple. And it's a time of blessing and celebration. And it's a Sabbath, and it's time of worship and rest. This is, I'm recording this on July 4th. And I'm in the United States of America. Tonight, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what are we going to be celebrating in the United States of America? We're going to be celebrating our freedom, our Constitution. We have freedom of religion. We have freedom of speech. In America. Now, there are places that hinder that freedom of speech, but we still have it. We still are the United States of America. And it's time to celebrate all that we've done and remember all that we've done. Now, are we worshiping our nation? No. Majority of us are still worshiping God. And that's wonderful. And that we have the freedom to do that. I know we're all fearful that that's going to change in the future. But, freedom isn't free. We might have to fight to keep freedom of religion in the United States in the future. But just think about that this 4th of July weekend. As we come to a close on Sunday of the 4th of July, I hope that we can all remember that. It's a time for us to reflect. And here, the Jewish people are reflecting. They have the promised land, they have the temple. What a glorious day. You all have a wonderful and blessed day, and try to get some rest today.